everyone. I got a newbie with me, and I'm really excited to bring them on. I have with me Steve Mallory. He is the partner of United Retirement Advisors. I also have with me Gary Madeline, and he, as I say it, Madeline or Madeline, and he is the president and partner of United Retirement Advisors. Welcome to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about yourselves and what you do.
Carol, it's kind of been an interesting ride for me, but I'll give you a quick background. I was in Philadelphia. I was born and raised in Philadelphia, and when I finished up with college, I entered the Philadelphia Police Department, and after 6 years of a very exciting career, I ended up, unfortunately, being wounded in the line of duty, which sent me in another direction, as you probably can imagine.
Sure.
I ended up going with the Equitable Life Insurance Society, which, you know, it's like a bad Woody Allen story, you know, like who wants to be an insurance agent? But that's where I ended up, and that's how I got started in the financial services business, and have been here for 40 years doing that. And over the years, our practice has just evolved into a retirement practice. People that are anywhere from 10 years into retirement or already retired, they're the people that we work with.
Now, can you work with anyone anywhere?
Yes.
Where are your offices located?
Our offices we have an office in Scottsdale, which is off of Raintree and 101, and I still have an office in Philadelphia, actually. I have a partner in Philadelphia also.
Okay, but you can work with anyone from anywhere.
Sure. Today with, you know, being able to put people on the computer, all that stuff, there's no reason why you have to be right next to one another.
Now, your business is a relationship-based business, so people have to get to know you. That's all about that, because they're entrusting you with their life,
sure,
basically. Do you do free consultations?
We do absolutely free consultations. In fact, we never charge for any kind of meetings at all. Sometimes we have clients or pre-clients, people that are trying to become clients. We may have 5-10 meetings with them sometimes before they actually say, okay, I want to be a client of yours. They don't get charged for any of that. We just don't believe that's the way to do it. If you need the information, you need the information, and retirement can be one of the most stressful, wonderful things that you will ever do, right. But you really, in order to be comfortable with it, you have to be comfortable with the path that's been laid down for you.
Now, I have to ask you this first, because of course everybody knows, and everybody that's listening to this is I know that you're all into the market, that what's going on, and you have to talk about why it's so versatile right now, what's going on with it.
Surprisingly enough, we don't get crazy in our office when it gets volatile like this because of the way we do things. But yeah, it's been a little crazy. It's certainly not the first time in life that it's been that crazy. A lot of people want to know, you know, is this the big one? Are we finally crashing? And I will tell you that I have no idea. And nobody really has an idea. I think that the market has run a really long time of being really good, and just in the course of natural things, it's going to go down. Is this the big one? I don't know. Do I think there is a big one on the horizon? I have no doubt about that. There's already a lot of professionals and people that I admire in the business that have already named it. It's going to be called the Great Reset. That's how big it's going to be. I mean, people are going to see changes in their lives that they've never seen before.
Wait a minute. Now that could be very scary. So when you say that, I want you to tell me, because I've also heard in the world that it's going to be very different than before. So when you say that we're all going to see changes, what are they? Okay.
So it is going to be very different, but it's also going to have a lot of opportunity in it. Most of it is, as long as you understand what causes the problem, then you know how to stay away from the problems. And the next problem, I believe 100%, is going to be all debt related. People just don't understand. They hear numbers like trillions. You know, what is $1 trillion? Well, $1 trillion is, Steve, what do we always say in the class? It's $10 million a day for 276 years. If you spend $10 million a day for 276 years,
I only wish.
That's $1 billion.
Right.
We're $1 trillion, and we're $21 trillion in debt, and that's just us. So these are numbers that have absolutely no way to solve the problem. They're going to have to be adjusted. And when that happens, that's what the big reset is. You're going to see a lot of big firms go out of business. A lot of people that think they have all this safe money in bonds don't realize that they don't have all this safe money in bonds. So that's going to be they're going to be the big changes. But it's also going to create a lot of opportunity for people, because the best of the best are going to survive that. And if you still have money, if you do things right and you protect your money before that happens, you're going to be in just be in the catbird bird seat.
So you do free consultations.
Yes.
You're located in Scottsdale. You're rated with the Better Business Bureau. And I also understand that you offer core retirement classes. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. We believe one of the issues, over 40 years, one of the things that I've noticed is people, when they're trying to find a financial advisor, which is not what we do, we are retirement consultants, but when they're talking about their money, they're very guarded about it. And one of the things they're afraid of is to go in, meet somebody new, either they're not going to like them or they feel like someone's, a lot of these guys have very, very strong personalities, and they come in and they just, overwhelm you with the numbers and the glitz in the office and all this stuff. So they have a hard time even taking the first step. So they end up trying to make this a do-it-yourself project, which is really not the thing to do. So one of the things that Steve, I, and our other partner, John, have created are the core retirement classes. And what we do in those classes are they're anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours, and we go over everything that's important in your retirement, Social Security. And we don't just glance over it. We tell you what you can do with it, what you can't do with it, but more importantly, why it's important. Why, people can take their Social Security at 62 or they can take it at 70. Why would I do one or the other? And a lot of people have backwards ideas about how it actually, how it can actually benefit them. It's a huge deal. Right. It's the difference between making it in retirement and not making it in retirement. So that's one thing. The other thing is taxes. People do not take that into effect. I don't think there's anybody in this world that will say taxes aren't going to go up in the future when you got $21 trillion of debt, right? How are you going to deal with that in the future? And the amazing part is our government has given us a real clear, easy path on how to avoid all this tax issues down the road. And it happens to be the number one issue that my clients have is why are they paying so much taxes on the money that they have to take? So we do that. That's
so basically,
a big part of it.
Social Security, taxes, and anything else?
Sure. And then the investments, we talk very frankly about what the investments are, how different investments work, and more talk about their psychology. What's good for one client isn't good for another client. You can have an investment that does really well, but if it drives you nuts and you're up every night worrying about it, it's not good for you because at the end of the day, it's something that we repeat over and over again. Retirement is more emotional than it is financial.
Now, I know that you have a class coming up on the 26th and the 29th at the Better Business Bureau right here in Phoenix. And is all that information, do you have it on your website so that they can check it out? Well, and here's the thing what we want to do. We're going to enter everybody in to win a class. Is that okay with you?
Sure,
okay,
that'd be
everybody
great.
Gets entered in to win a class. This is a $30 value, free to you guys out there or someone that you know. You have these all the time. This is not the first one that you're going to be two that you're doing. You do them all the time, and they're either at the Better Business Bureau or they're at ASU.
ASU SkySong, yes.
Okay, so, they have them at different places. You could check them out on their website. Their website is myretirementclass.com. You can also call them. They do free consultations. Their phone number to call is 480-448-6270. But I think the first thing you do is need to meet them and talk to them. I think that's really important is to do that. And the best way is to get in on this class. So our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. We're just entering everybody in to win a class. We want to give out the class for you guys to have so that you can find out this information and get to know them a little bit. I think that's important. You could also all the information is on their website, which is myretirementclass.com, or call them direct at 480-448-6270. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau, and our number here to get in on the class is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. We have less than a minute for right now before we go to a break, and I want you said something that I wrote down here. You said that you're not retirement advisors, you are financial retirement.
Correct.
Excuse me, I said it wrong. Financial advisors, you're retirement consultants. Before we go to the break, will you please tell us what the difference is?
Sure. A financial advisor is someone who has to deal with your money. It's all about your money, your investments. What investments are you in? Those kinds of things. A retirement consultant takes in that and a whole lot more. Social Security is something that a financial advisor probably will not get involved with you. Taxes is something they'll tell you to go see your accountant. We take all of that in. We also take in the psychological part. As I said, retirement is more emotional than it is financial. So
check them out on their website. It's myretirementclass.com, or call in here and get entered in to win one. It's a $30 value, free to you or anyone you know. Our number here is 602-277-5369. So welcome back, everyone. And we're talking with Steve Mallory and also Gary Madeline, and they are the owners of United Retirement Advisors. And we were just talking a little bit about the difference between what a financial advisor is and a retirement consultant is. Did you want to add anything else before on that?
No, I think that explains it pretty well, that we're more interested in the, I hate this word, but the holistic part of retirement. But you have to do the whole thing, as I'm sure we'll talk about as we go on.
Well, let's see. One of the things that you said you wanted to talk about at the break was your core, what COREs, which is obviously your core values. I get that. So tell them what that is. What does CORE, what does it stand for?
Okay. CORE stands for Comprehensive Objective Retirement Engineering. It is our philosophy and it is our process. Comprehensive means that if you're going to do a plan for people who are retiring, you have to include everything, as we kind of touched on before. It has to be Social Security. It has to be long-term care. It has to be how they, Medicare. It has to be about their insurances, how they want to leave their things to the kids. It has to be all-encompassing, because at the end of the day, retirement is a big jigsaw puzzle. And if pieces are missing, you don't get the whole picture. And that's what most people are doing. They have this guy that does this guy that does that, and a lot of people don't have guys that should be doing jobs for them. They're doing it themselves. So the comprehensive part is we cover everything from beginning to end. It's the only way we know how to do it. O is for objective, and this is the part that I don't want this to sound campy, but it has to be all about the client. Financial people are very well compensated, so there's no reason why they have to be greedy, although everybody knows that anything that's attached to Wall Street, greed is good. But it has to be all about the client. It wasn't too long ago that a financial firm did a study, and it turned out that people said their number one fear in life, more than death itself, was running out of money in retirement and have to depend on their kids. So if it's that important to them, it has to be that important to the people that are working with them. So it has to be all about them. Not, how much we make is irrelevant. Is it the right thing to do for them? And then the retirement engineering portion is we approach a person's retirement like an engineer would approach building a bridge. You don't just, here we show up, let's throw up some stuff and drive over the bridge. You have to engineer out all of the things that can make the retirement fail, just like an engineer rules out everything that can make the bridge fail before they ever touch it. So we're looking at the things that can go wrong with their retirement way more than we're looking at the things that can go right. Because if you can engineer out the things that can go bad, you can now almost miss on some of the things that that are going to go right. But if something goes wrong, you may not be able to recover from it, no matter how good your investments are, or your advisor is, or anything else.
So again, these classes that you offer, you do them a couple times a month. Is that what you do?
Yeah, usually.
And one is at the Better Business Bureau, and the other one is at ASU Sky Song. Mm-hmm. But the next two are either January 26th or the 29th at the Better Business Bureau. Their information is all on the website, which is myretirementclass.com. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. They do free consultations. They can help anyone from anywhere. Their phone number direct, if you want to call them, is 480-448-6270, or I've got my lines open here, and everyone's getting entered in to win a ticket, and it's a $30 value to you guys out there, and it's either you or someone that you know. And that's what, again, I said it earlier, I love this show, and the reason why I love it is because it's information, and this is something that you might be hearing. Maybe you're listening and your parents, you're driving, and your parents might be of age where you're saying, they really should ought to go to a class like this. Or maybe yourself, or how old is your client usually start at?
Our clients run anywhere from 50 to retired. I mean, They go all the way up from there.
Right.
And you're right. Most people are running around with, generally most people are running around with a lot of bad information. You're getting hit from every which way when it comes to money and all this. Our job is all about education. That's what we believe. If we can educate a person about how a retirement should be done, they can make their own decisions once they know everything that's involved in that decision. So that's what these classes are all about, is not just to, it's not like getting a free dinner at, at a restaurant and hearing somebody try to sell you something that's there. It's about educating you so you know what it is that's going to fit you, what works for you, and what the pitfalls are. It's all about making sure that those people know how to make the choices that they're going to make.
Arming you with good information.
Correct.
So that you can make great decisions.
Sure.
Now, we've got our lines open here. Our number here, 602-277-5369. And toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Get entered in to win. And I'm going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show for this. Now, I also know that, Steve, you have a story, and you were telling us a little bit about it, and I said, you got to talk about that.
Yeah, my background is a little bit different than Gary. I've been in the Valley now for almost 30 years and have been in the hospitality and ran golf clubs for 15 plus years, and I actually went to a class a number of years ago, and I invested like everyone else, and I watched my 401k decline like everyone else in 2007 through 2009 and thought, is this really...
On top of the mic.
Is this really what I'm getting myself into? Mm-hmm. And I went to a class, and as all of you can hear, Gary is very good. I learned a lot. I walked out, and the light bulb kind of went on for me, and got to know Gary and John a little bit better. Joined the firm, got my Series 65 license a number of years ago because I felt like there was a better way of doing it. And it's like Gary said, we build this like an engineer would from the ground up. We want to see where the roadblocks are and what can stop you from getting where you want to go. But we have to get to know you first. We have to understand what you want, what your objectives are, because it's important, and everybody's a little bit different. The first time we sit down with someone, we never know the direction that the meeting's going. So it's wonderful to get to know people like that, find out what they want to do. It's a wonderful
When you meet with them, do you go to them, or how do you do that? Do they go to you? Do you come to them? How does it work?
They come to us. Mm-hmm. We have our offices in Scottsdale. As I said, Raintree and 101. It's easy to get to. And they come in, and they can come in as much as they want, as little as they want. And just funny, we had a client come in just before we came here today, and we spent, 3/4 of the time, Steve, trying to convince him that he needed to retire. He just can't pull the trigger on it because he's scared to death of something happening. He has no idea what that is. He couldn't put it into words, and he's got something that he wants to do with his life. And
Maybe
I think
he just wants to have fun working.
He does.
Would that be okay?
He repairs guitars, and this is what the man wants to do for the rest of his life.
What's wrong with that?
So I asked him, I said, what did you do over Christmas? He said, I had 2 weeks off. He says, all I did was repair the guy. I said, how was Christmas? He says, it's the best Christmas I ever had. He said, then you need to retire. He's got more money than he'll ever need to retire. So hopefully between Steve, myself, and his wife, we convinced him today to retire and go about his life.
But you can semi-retire too, right?
You can, but for him, he just loves this guitar thing, and he's not that nuts about his job, so it's like, that's what I really want to do. Do it.
And that's if you can do it, why not,
sure.
Right? So again, tell them about your classes, what you're going to do at these two that are coming up.
At the classes, as we talked about, myretirementclass.com, it will tell you all about the class and give you the agenda, etc. But we cover the things that you need to understand. Social Security, how it works, how you can get taxed on your Social Security, how you can avoid being taxed on your Social Security, what things you need as far as long-term care is concerned, and the many different ways you can get coverage today without having to buy an expensive long-term care policy. We talk about the investments, what they are, safe investments, risky investments, and taxes, which we think is a very, very big thing that people have to look at in the future. We discuss why we think taxes are going to go up, what are the ways to avoid that. Our government has given us a clear path on how to avoid these taxes, but most people won't take it. So we explain all this, and we don't tease them with things. We give them all the facts. So by the time they come in and see us, if they like us and they want to come in and see us, they're already armed with a lot of good questions, and some of them even we give them some answers. And if we don't see them, but we give them good information and they take it with them, that's just as good.
How long are the classes?
They generally run 2 hours.
Okay, and this is a $30 value, free to you or anyone you know. The classes that you could check them out on their website, it's myretirementclass.com. You call in here and get it from me. We're entering everybody in to win a class. So our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. So a lot of people might want to bring their significant other. Would that be okay? okay?
Is it okay? We would prefer
so
it.
we want people to understand that you can bring your significant other, whoever
Yeah, we don't
is.
want to have to do it twice, so let's just do it once and have you both there.
Right, so we want to make sure you know that. So call in here. We're going to let you call throughout the rest of the show for it. Our number here again, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. They've got free consultations that they do for you. You go to their office in Scottsdale. You can call them direct if you want to talk to them at 480-448-6270. We've got less than a minute, so what should we talk about? What would you like to finish off with?
The biggest thing is something that just drives us nuts in the office is when people say, stay in the market, don't worry about it, take the ride. That may be really good advice for Warren Buffett and a lot of people that have more money than they'll ever need. But for people who are retiring, you have to be careful about the losses that you take, and that should be your major concern. Not how much money am I going to make, how can I avoid how much money I'm going to lose. That's the most important thing when it comes to retirement.
Well, I also think that it's important for people to understand that you also are not financial advisors. You are retirement consultants. And they do these classes. They're at the Better Business Bureau or ASU SkySong. We're giving away the 2 tickets, so give us the tickets. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Check them out on their website. It's myretirementclass.com.